You know, I leave the country to cover the Olympics, and all of a sudden, Jim Boeheim does something he's never done in his Hall of Fame coaching career. 38 years, and he gets thrown out of a game. He joins us now. Was it because I was out of the country?
You know, I just think it's the old age setting in, senility, whatever. You know, you just lose control of your emotions sometimes.
Okay, when you go home, the conversation with your wife is about what?
She was good. She said, "Well, can you get Dan Patrick to come up and host the gala?" And I said, "No, I've given up." But no, actually, she didn't say anything negative, which surprised me a little bit. She did say it wasn't in good keeping with our foundation's goals of, setting good examples for kids, which I guess is true. But, in the moment, you sometimes lose it. 38 years, I have never done that, and I did. I really thought, and I wasn't really right, I made a mistake. I really thought the game was over on that play, and I thought it was the wrong call. And, you get emotional and you get kind of crazy. I could have taken the 1 tee and probably gone back, but at that point it didn't matter. I was, thoroughly upset. So, they're good referees. It was a well-officiated game. I mean, there's always a call or two you don't like, but it's just one of those moments that you kind of regret a little bit, but I'm not so sure I entirely regret it. So, but, you have to move on, and we had to play Monday night. So,
what's it like to watch your reaction? It's one thing to be in the moment. Now you get to see the highlights. Do you recognize that guy?
Well, I thought, I have been doing Pilates for a year or so. I thought my moves were good. I thought I was
Well, you
active.
didn't lose the jacket. Either take the jacket off. You can't go halfway. You got to commit, Coach.
I guess I almost lost my mind. Not quite. Is that what that means?
Yes. Yes. Like, is that when you started to go, oh, no, I'm not going to go that crazy and take off my jacket?
I never wanted to take my jacket off. I've seen that, and I've gotten it halfway a couple times before, but not since Purdue and Joe Barry Carroll, which I'm sure is too long ago to remember, did I actually take the whole jacket off.
Wow. Okay, serious question, and I brought it up yesterday.
Yeah.
What if C.J. Fair reacts that way? What if one of your kids...
Well, this is a good question. Players on my program, we talk about this. They are not allowed to get a technical foul. That's something we talk about. The coach... I've had 5 in 6 years. So, I mean, it's not something I'm looking to get either. But players are not. We talk about it. They play the game. When there's a protest to be made about the officials, I'm going to make it. And you can argue that I went too far, and that's okay. I can buy into that theory. But I just thought that was the game, and it turned out they got the ball in bounds. When we finally got done, all the dust settled. We fouled them like we would have, and they made 2 free throws. So, I mean, would have been a 4-point game if I hadn't gone crazy with 8 seconds to go. So we're going to lose the game. But I just, it was just my reaction, and I feel that the players understand that, and I hope they understand that it's the coach who's going to get upset about calls, not the players.
What did you talk to Krzyzewski?
Yeah, I did. I did after the game. He told me he thought I handled the press conference well.
What did he think of the call, though?
I'm sure he thought it was a good call, as I would have, if I would have thought that. And that happens, and I don't think it's wrong for me to say it's a bad call, and I don't think it's wrong for him to say, well, I thought it was a charge. And we had the same thing at Maryland. At the end of the game, the Maryland coach thought there was a foul, and I didn't think there was a foul. And fortunately, the refs didn't either this time. But, it's just I've been hearing about this new rule, and they've been calling it, and they called it against Michael Benejet, against us, against Parker a few minutes earlier. He got over. They said that the guy was in his motion, so they gave him the basket. And I thought it was the same call. I thought C.J. Fair got into his motion. I thought the kid moved just a little bit in, and that's the new rule. But I can see how it can be called the other way, and it's an honest play, honest mistake. I don't think there's any conspiracy to Duke conspiracy or anything. I think Duke wins games because they've got a great team and a great coach. I don't think referees give Duke calls or anybody calls, but that's just the way it happens sometimes. Sometimes you get a call and sometimes you don't. We didn't get that call, and that happens sometimes. It was a great game. We've had 2 great games with Duke, and I think we've gotten into this new league, and I think it's been done without any transition problems whatsoever. Our fans, we were averaging 4,000 more people a game this year than we have in the last 15 years. So I think our fans have transitioned. I think the players have, and it's been a tough battle. I mean, we've had more close games this year than any year that I've been coaching at Syracuse.
Wow. And you're 26-2.
Yeah, and sometimes I think people forget that sometimes. I'm pretty happy.
They've been forgetting about this for 38 years, Jim.
Well, there's a high standard here, and I'm happy that our fans hold us to that standard. We want to be good, and that's the problem is college basketball. You can be really good and lose your next game. And it doesn't matter who it is. I mean, Florida was in a real battle last night, and I think they've got the best team right now in the country, or at least can make a case for Florida or Wichita State to be the best team in the country. And they had a really close game with Vanderbilt, a team that's just had an okay year. And that's just the nature of college basketball right now. You're going to have a tournament that and all fans love this, and I think the media does, where crazy things are going to happen, and there's going to be a lot of closely contested great games, and unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of upsets, and when you're a favorite, you never like to hear that.
He's Jim Boeheim, Syracuse head coach. Next game is on Saturday against Virginia, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. I watched I didn't see the game live, but I was in Russia and I saw the highlights. I thought it was a block.
Yeah.
I didn't like the call, but if that, let's say it's at Syracuse.
Yeah.
I think it's different at Syracuse than Duke. I don't like saying that, but I do think that it factored in. I think it was a friendlier call, and I thought it was a slide into fair. And
yeah, I mean, I thought it was. I think I know some refs. I haven't really talked to that many people. I don't know what other refs are saying. I really don't. I think when I really saw it, I thought it was cut and dry to block 100%. When I watched the tape, it was close. They are calling that a block this year when it's close. And
but you reacted that way,
yeah. And
you you weren't 100%. You're not 100% sure now after the fact.
Now I'm not, but I was at that time.
Okay, so if you knew what you knew now,
yeah,
on just your reaction,
yeah,
would you have reacted that way?
I think so. I think so. I still think it was a block, but
I agree.
I just think again. The one negative was we still had a very slim chance to win the game. But, we steal the ball, we foul them, they miss the free throws. And that's what I feel bad about, taking that out of the equation. But I think any time you get a technical late in the game, it could cost your team the game.
I think the other coach should shoot the technical. How about that? Because you know what, you and Coach K both played in college.
Well, everybody knows we're great friends, and I did not want to detract from the game, and I don't think I did, but I felt bad about the way it ended because it was a great game. And
do your kids say anything about it?
My kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, they thought it was a bad call.
Well, no, but do kids give them grief at school that
they haven't too much. But I know Jimmy, last night he did reaffirm that it was a bad call, but he asked me for $40 at the same time, so I'm not sure. But
can your players make fun of you?
I don't think they do.
During film session, when they're watching, can they have fun with that? at all?
I don't know. I don't know if
that's a no. That's a no.
I think they'd be a little. I think it's a no. Yeah, I think it's probably a no.
Can they imitate you? Like, I'd love you at the press conference. I don't know if you've won or lost at a press conference because you're just sort of slumped over and you got just your head in your hand.
I know it.
I never know if you've won or lost.
I don't either sometimes.
Well, you're getting to that age. And final question, in all seriousness, how difficult is it going to be that your teams are so good to walk away from a team that's so good? Because eventually you have to do that.
Well, I'm not walking away anytime soon. I know that.
Okay.
And when the time comes, things are in place and everything will work. I'd rather leave a really good team than leave somebody with a really bad team.
All right. Well, you know what? How about a seatbelt next time? All right.
I promise you, I will not get thrown out for the next 1,100 games.
Well, and by the way, tell your lovely wife. I promise you this. My schedule's so crazy. I don't travel when the football season's over. I just got back from Russia. And I know it's a great event you put on. And I know that you've been very sincere and genuine in asking me to come up. First of all, I wouldn't be good. And second of all, I just promised my wife I would not travel anymore.
Well, the thing is, I'm going to call your wife. She's invited too. In fact, the only problem, she said, is, well, does Dan have to come? So,
hey, you would have far much better time with her. Believe me, she's far more entertaining and interesting. You know what? You get a technical on Saturday, then I'll do it.
All right, I may. You never know.
and this time, rip the coat off.
I will next time.
All right.
Next time.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jim. That's Jim Boeheim. Oh, what a sense of humor. The fact that you see yourself, that's when you go, God, I can't believe I did that. Then he said, no, I might do it again.